The Fortune Cookie Kid. Chapter 4. Ms. Peach. For the rest of the week, math class was normal, except Ms. Peach spent most of the hour sniffling. Before PE on Friday, Chester approached me in the locker room with the rest of the physically challenged gang behind him for support.
Did you speak to Thomas about training us?
Yes, I said glumly.
Judging by your expression, it didn't go well.
Oh, he agreed, but I don't think it's worth it. He can be a tyrant in the gym.
We don't care,
Tim Gill called out. He emailed me a contract for you all to sign. I'm surprised he didn't ask us to sign it in blood. I pulled my tablet out of my backpack and handed it to Chester to read. Everyone gathered around him. There was a lot of complaining, but the one thing they hated the most was the 5 a.m. training time.
How are we going to get to Thomas's house when we can't drive?
Public transportation, I muttered. I told you he is a tyrant.
I'm doing it!
Chester quickly typed his name in on the bottom of the contract. The rest of the gang followed suit. I was the only one who was reluctant to sign the dumb thing, but seeing how they were all willing to submit to torture, I decided to go along with it too. You all realize that we will be sleep-deprived for the next 8 weeks, I said as a last-ditch effort to talk them out of it.
Worth it,
Chester said, and the gang all nodded their heads in agreement. Great, I have shopping for the ball this weekend and martial arts every day after that. My 9th grade year is quickly turning out to be a nightmare, I complained, but no one seemed to hear me. Mentally, I added, I also have to find out who hypnotized my math class. Then I sent the signed contract to Thomas. Tim approached me.
How is Thomas going to find out where we live to get us out of bed if we don't show?
I'm sure you don't want to find out. I patted him on the back and the bell for 6th period rang. Lit class was great. I got to read the lines for Hamlet in class. Thomas spent his time looking out the large windows that most of the classrooms have. It was a beautiful sunny day. After class, I talked to Thomas. So what were you thinking about in lit class?
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of shopping. Don't tell me you want to go?
I don't, and I'm not so sure Mouse wants to go either. It could be disastrous for her. You don't think Chelsea would be mean to Mouse?
Believe me, she isn't like that. You should get to know her.
I didn't know you knew her that well.
I have eyes. You need to open yours wider, maybe you'd notice a few things. Why do you call Sabrina Mouse?
I smiled. That's what she reminds me of, a cute little mouse.
So you think I'm cute?
I heard Sabrina say behind me. I spun on my heels. Yes.
You can call me Mouse.
She nudged my shoulder. I can? As if I were still in puberty, my voice came out higher than I meant it to. I mean, you're not mad? I made sure it was deeper this time. Probably too deep.
No, I like it. A mouse is a perfect description of me.
Hey, sorry about what I said at lunch. You don't have to go with me to the ball. I just wanted Chelsea to leave you alone.
I would have asked you, but the ball is a formal dance and I don't have a dress.
Well, I don't have a tux either. She smiled.
Exactly why I think we better just stay home for the ball.
I'll buy you a dress.
No.
Mouse said curtly and held up her hand like a police cop directing traffic.
Well, at least let him rent you a dress,
Chelsea said as she walked up to us and put her arm around Mouse.
Listen to me, Sabrina. When a man offers to buy you a dress, don't ever turn him down.
They all started for the buses, but I stayed near the entrance.
Aren't you going to ride the bus?
I'm getting my braces taken off today. I smiled and pointed at them. My mother is picking me up. See you Monday. Mouse made a lost puppy face. At that moment, I wanted nothing more than to run to her and push Chelsea away.
Oh no, we are going shopping tomorrow and don't let him talk you out of it.
I watched them disappear and waited for my mother to arrive. To pass the time, I paced the length of the bottom step of the main entrance worrying about Mouse. At the beginning of the week, I would have done anything to be on talking terms with Chelsea. But right now, she was making my life miserable. I muttered and smacked my forehead hard. I am such an idiot. What was I thinking saying I was going to the ball and now I'm going shopping with my mother, my girlfriend, my best friend's mother, and Thomas? I stopped. My girlfriend! Mouse is my girlfriend! My brain froze on that thought until the school was empty. Most of the teachers had left too. There was a pinging in the back of my head. Where is my mother? I sent her a text, then slipped my phone into my back pocket. I hope she didn't forget me again. The restroom was calling my name, so I went into the school. As I rounded the first corner in the hall, I stopped. Ms. Peach and my first-hour science teacher, Mr. Redding, were kissing. I quickly backed up to the corner to watch them. It was gross. Mr. Redding had Ms. Peach up against the lockers. Though I knew they were kissing, it looked more like Mr. Redding was trying to swallow my math teacher's face. When the kiss ended, I heard my science teacher say,
"Please forgive me."
Roosevelt, I forgive you.
My science teacher's name is Roosevelt Redding. A laugh bubbled up and almost escaped my lips, but I quickly covered them with my hands. My phone started vibrating. I pulled it so quickly from my pocket that I almost dropped it on the floor. Relief washed over me. It was my mother telling me she was outside.
The next day, shopping for the ball.
Please just shoot me, I said as my mother and Mouse rummaged through a rack of tuxes. Just thinking about trying on clothes makes me tired.
Let's just think of this as an opportunity to understand women better. We have mothers and girlfriends.
There was that G word again. I don't know if I'm ready for a girlfriend.
Let's not worry about labels and just see where this adventure takes us.
That had me wondering. What did that cookie say at lunch yesterday? The one you wanted an egg for, I clarified.
Cleverness is serviceable for everything, sufficient in nothing.
So you are just going to go along with this and see what happens?
Yes, I told you what the cookie said.
He turned to look at me.
I tested it in the lunchroom, and this is what my cleverness got me.
Yeah, your mom and Chelsea are getting along great. Thomas nodded in agreement.
I haven't seen my mother this happy since I decided to go to public school. Mouse and your mother are having fun, too.
He jerked his head toward them. They were holding a light blue tux. Oh, come on, light blue, really? I moaned softly.
Don't complain, it looks like mine is pink.
Go try this on,
My mother said, giving me a stern look.
and be open-minded.
I don't know what the conversation between Chelsea and my mother had been, but she convinced her to let me rent Mouse's dress for the ball. When my mother met Mouse, she was all too happy to help. Before we left the house to go shopping, I had to agree to pay back the money. The amount would be divided into 6 payments and would be subtracted from my allowance for the next 6 months. Why did Thomas have to tell Chelsea that I lived next door when she came to get him? I sighed and followed my mother to the dressing rooms. Not wanting to wear the light blue atrocity in my hand, I took my time getting dressed. When I was finished, the image I saw in the mirror didn't improve my mood any. My mother banged on the changing room door and I stepped out.
Oh, Reggie, the color of this tux makes your brown eyes pop. Don't you agree, Sabrina?
I frowned at her, hoping she would save me from wearing the blue nightmare my mother had selected.
It does make your eyes look darker.
I glanced at my friend. He just played along without complaint.
You look so manly in pink,
Thomas's mother said. Why didn't they say anything about his brown eyes looking any different? Chelsea brushed Thomas's curls behind his ears, and I thought she was going to kiss him. Mr. Redding, I whispered to myself. I had completely forgotten about the kiss. When the ladies are off looking for more tuxes for us to try on, my plan was to tell Thomas and see what he thought about it. Hopefully they would find us tuxes that are at the other end of the color spectrum, like dark blue. My mother pulled on the sleeves and fastened the top button.
You really look nice.
Tears formed in my mother's eyes. Mom, I moaned.
It's your first dance. I can't help it.
My mother wiped a tear from her cheek and made an attempt to control her emotions. Then she pulled out her phone and took several pictures of me. I didn't smile. I was glad when they left us to go look for dresses. They should be gone for a while, I sighed and plopped down in the chair next to Thomas. He was sitting up straight. You look stiff.
I'm worried I'll wrinkle this thing.
You know this is all your fault. If you hadn't suggested that our mothers should be involved, we would be at least wearing black and my mother wouldn't be crying. Thomas looked up at the ceiling.
My mother cried too when I told her I was going to the dance, and my father high-fived me. I'm surprised this makes them happier than my academic accomplishments.
So tell me how you got on the team. Tryouts were 2 weeks before school started.
I went to Scott and asked him to tell the rest of the team to back off in PE. The only way he would agree was if I could beat him in a game of one-on-one.
Was the whole team watching?
Yes.
He closed his eyes as if it was a horrible experience. It couldn't have been at school, so where did this happen?
Walkman Park? I had to ask my father to drive me.
They have 6 courts.
Yeah, my dad cheered the whole time. It was so embarrassing.
Sorry and thank you.
You're my best friend, and besides, who would I get fortune cookies from?
I was going to ask you about that. Is there some reason you never buy your own cookies?
Of course. Rule 7. The magic works best if someone who's close to you gives you the cookie. Believe me, I have tested it, and when you give me one of your aunt's cookies, the magic is always stronger.
That makes sense. I nodded my head and watched Mouse and my mom head to the dressing room with 3 dresses matching the color of my tux. I pulled at the collar, wanting to unbutton it. I know why Ms. Peach has been crying. Thomas looked at me surprised.
Why?
Roosevelt. My friend scrunched up his face in confusion.
Roosevelt? Who is that?
Her boyfriend, Roosevelt Redding.
Our first-hour science teacher?
Yep, I shook my head.
I thought he was married with kids. He has talked about his son several times in class.
That's right, he has. But I saw him eating her face in the hallway and pleading for her to forgive him.
Maybe she found out he was married. That would explain her mood.
Do you think there is a connection between these two in the math class being hypnotized? I mean, Mr. Redding was in the class before it started.
He brought Sabrina in and she didn't get hypnotized.
I slumped down in my chair. You're right. Chelsea came and stood before us in a beautiful pink dress. Thomas sat up straighter, giving her his full attention.
You look gorgeous.
Cookie, please.
Thomas stood and held out his hand. Wondering why he needed a fortune cookie at a time like this, I pulled one from my pocket. My mother had forbidden me to bring my backpack, so I brought one just in case. I watched him crack the cookie and read the contents before shoving the entire thing into his mouth. I have never seen him eat so fast. He looked about the room. Then he tossed the fortune onto the chair he had been sitting on and walked up to Chelsea, turned her toward the windows, and kissed her. It wasn't a peck kiss either. His mother looked as shocked as I did. I grabbed the fortune on the chair next to me and read it quietly. A charming friendship is in the making. I flipped it over and read, South. That explained why he turned her toward the windows. When I looked up from reading the fortune, Thomas's mother was taking a picture of the two of them. My girl showed up after that wearing a blue dress that I could tell she felt awkward in. The saleswoman followed closely behind. Her eyes followed every movement Mouse made. I assume it was because she was afraid Mouse would steal something. My reaction was not the same as Thomas. First, I wanted to tell the saleswoman to take a hike, and second, I had to do something about the dress. Since I couldn't do anything about the sales clerk, I pulled my mother aside. She doesn't like the dress, I hissed, and gave the saleswoman a mean look that had her looking anywhere but at my girlfriend.
I know, honey.
What does she like?
A black dress? The girl doesn't seem to appreciate color at all.
Have her try it on. After all, I'm paying for the dress. I want her to at least like what she is wearing. And I can take this ridiculous blue nightmare off, I thought. I took hold of both of Mouse's hands and held them. You wear the dress you feel the most comfortable in. She looked up at me and smiled softly.
I really shouldn't be here.
Why? Cinderella got to go to the ball. Why can't my little mouse?
I wanted to kiss her the way she was looking up at me, but instead I gave her hands a squeeze. When Mouse went to put the dress she liked on, I sat down. The sales clerk went with my girl.
Well, I guess I have to find you a different tux. At least I got a picture first.
Thank you, Mom, I said. But what I was thinking was how thankful I was that Mouse and I have the same color preference. I was so relieved to see my mother bring me a black tux that I jumped to my feet and rushed to put it on before my mother changed her mind. When I returned from the dressing room, everyone was waiting for me. Mouse looked lovely in a short black dress that had a long-sleeved jacket. She looked confident in it and smiled when she saw me. It seems as if everyone was waiting for me to kiss Mouse the way Thomas did Chelsea. But I didn't feel comfortable about doing that in front of my mother. I had envisioned my first kiss as a private matter, and I was going to keep it that way. A quick hug was all I could bring myself to do as I whispered into her ear.
I want to kiss you, but not here.
I didn't want her to think she wasn't beautiful. This is the end of the chapter. Please like and subscribe.